Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've gotten through Woo, we've gotten through Burr. Now it's time to do Gmaul. Green, multicolored artifact, and Landos. And even better, Sheriff, we have a special visitor. Sheriff. Hi. Oh yeah, guys, my little friend is here. My little tiny friend. She's making her way up. Come here. Don't chew on my monitor. You know, just chew on the monitor. I don't care. It's just what I use to see if the stream's live. Let's go ahead and review these cards, and maybe my sweet little princess, Sheriff the Cat, will come on up as little furry brown ball of love and help us get these card evaluations right. Anytime Sheriff's on me, you'll notice the evaluations go up. Sheriff, where are you? Where'd you go? Oh! She's in her porthole. It's fine. I have one of those little cardboard boxes that has like a circular hole, and she just sits there and sticks her head out. And anytime I walk by her, I ask to join the Covenant of the Forest Hunters. Alright, adventure awaits. 1 and a green, sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't put a card in your hand this way, draw a card. Ooh, that's nice. It's an adventurous impulse that, at worst, just cantrips. You okay? She sounds annoyed, doesn't she? What do I think about this? Adventurous impulse or commune with the dinosaurs I have seen exist? This just seems like a limited Drek, okay? These are the dregs. These are the mediocre ones. I don't like this. I don't like this, man. The fact that if you whiff at all, you just draw a card helps. Look at the top 5, reveal a creature card, put it in your hand. If you didn't put a card into your hand, draw a card. No, you know. No, this is just... It's just a draw 1 for 2 is what this is. And this is okay. You know what? 0 out of 5. Hate cards like this. Get these out of my face. 0 out of 5. You might run it like one of them in a limited deck if you had a bomb and nothing else good. It seems bad. It seems really bad. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Ancient Green Warden. 6 mana, 5/7 elemental with reach. You may play lands from your graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggering ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, if there's landfall and I play a landfall card, this will make you landfall and landfall. I have some suspicion that if you run one of these in Constructed, you might just run 1 or 2 in your main deck. I don't necessarily think that this is a straight up, like, 4 of, oh my god, so good in Constructed. I would give it like a 3 out of 5 in Constructed because it maybe has some merit. Playing lands from your graveyard is actually a very sick ability when you have Field of Ruin. Fabled Passage is also really nice to be able to play, sack, pop out again, play again, sack, pop out again. You get repeated triggers of landfall in there. I'll probably try to run some in our landfall things coming up, but like Felidar Retreat and Ancient Green Warden with a Fabled Passage in the bin is like so many triggers. This to me feels like a 2 of, no more than that. You can have duplicates out though. It's nice. Great, terrific. 6 out of 5 in limited, 6 out of 5 in limited, 6 out of 5 in limited. 1 billion, thousand million out of 5 in limited. This is so good. A 5/7 for 6 with reach. Yeah. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. 3 and a pair of greenies for a legendary elemental. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. So, if I have Ashaya and 2 creatures and 5 lands, Those 2 creatures now become 2 lands, so I have 7 lands total. So now I have a 7/7, and if I were to play a creature, because it is a forest land, it also triggers landfall, and if there is a sweeper that says destroy all non-land permanents, all your creatures are lands. Oh wait, and Ashaya counts itself as a land, so you'd actually be an 8/8. Huh. Well, it doesn't have trample, so it's dog shit. Okay, so this has to be good. This has to be good, because if you just play it on turn 5, it's 5/5. No, it's a 6/6 land. 6/6 for 5. There's a lot of other okay, in Limited, this is insane beyond belief. I almost want to throw up the idea that someone would be able to run this card in their deck. The existence of... The fact that it doesn't do anything the turn it's played is quite relevant. It'll just blow itself up. There's also weird interactions where, like, Field of Ruin can now kill any of your creatures. I mean, there's, like, really weird interactions like this. So I'm going to give this card a 3 out of 5 in Standard. 3 out of 5 in Standard is what I'm going to give it. 3 out of 5 in Standard. Because I think that there are some cool aspects to this, but most of the time it feels like this is a big-ass creature, and in Limited, this will make all your creatures landfall, which is very big-ass. That's the biggest ass out there. That's straight asthma. Bala Ged Recovery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand, or be a land. Oh. Shit. What? Yeah. Uh-huh. This is a 10 out of 10 in Limited. It's a 10 out of 5 in Limited. It's an infinity out of 5. It's a 5 out of epsilon in Limited, because you can include this relatively risk-free as a way to just get a good bomb back. This is really terrific. Hope you guys like the great tunes coming from outside the window. Bala Ged Sanctuary, yeah, I just love it. All these things are just like minimum 3 out of 5. Probably 5 out of 5 to me. These are really, really great. Will this be incredible in Constructed? I can again imagine if you're some sort of slower controller-ish deck and you have a lot of lands and you want to just get some redundancy, you cut some forests, put in some Bala Ged Recoveries. I will absolutely be running these when I am playing my Nigh Landfall deck. It's really great. Broken Wings. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. Oh, nice. Nice versatility. It does kind of... This is a good one to have a one of in a landfall deck. This is a 23rd card. In Constructed, maybe. I like that it's a thicker disenchant. Disenchant effects are good, and hell, if there's some... You know, there were those old standard decks that would have, like, 2 Niv Mizzets in there, you know, and you could have Broken Wings against Immortal Sun, or Broken Wings against Niv Mizzet, you know, things like this. This just has a lot of targets that feels like it's a sideboard out of 5 in Constructed. I'm interested in it, though. Canopy Baloth. 3 and a green for a 4/3 beast. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Canopy Baloth gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Jesus. Wow, that's pretty nice. Bad as hell in Constructed, because this shit has 3 toughness. Most things annihilate it. I mean, that's just so easy for it to die in Constructed. But as an aggressive Gruul landfall deck, I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. 6/5. If it had trample, it would be way too broken. But I mean, it's astounding. This is an astoundingly solid little card. I should say astoundingly solid. It's like 3 out of 5 in limited. Unplayable and constructed. Speaking of playable and constructed, Cragplate baloth. 5 double green. Kick for another 3. This spell can't be countered. Hexproof and haste. Hexproof and haste for a 6/6. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. This is some top end right here, man. This is some top end, man. Reminds me of the days of the... Oh my god, what the heck was it called? The 7/6 uncounterable trampler. The hell was its name? Carnage Tyrant. Carnage Tyrant. I know him as... Rawr. This is a great reanimation target. This is a great card. Hexproof Haste 10/10 is astounding. It's just so good. So, in metas of old, Carnage Tyrant was an uncounterable hexproof. Really nice against the Azorius style decks, but the fact that this has haste is a really good way on an empty board to just slam down and smash into someone's face. I love this shit. Let's also not forget that we have Godzilla that we can cycle 4 times to bring to the battlefield. It also is an uncounterable haster. But I like Cragplate baloth quite a bit. Quite a bit. This I think is maybe going to be a 2 or 3 of against control decks. I don't remember if the Ceratops is rotating out, but again, not having trample does suck, and I like my green cards with trample. But even so, this is a limited bomb. This is going to be a. I think I have some tepid conviction that this will be a format staple. I have some tepid conviction in that. So maybe 5 out of 5 in both. Who am I kidding? It's a large green, man. It gets 5s from day 9s. Dauntless Survivor. A 1 and a green. When Dauntless Survivor enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Uh-oh. 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 This is a 2/2 for 2 that sometimes puts a +1/+1 on something that can then get benefits from the other +1/+1 counter triggers that are abound. So, excuse me, I'm interested in Dauntless Survivor as just a nice, well-rounded piece to a limited deck. Not in constructed, though. Gnarled Colony for 1 and a green. And kick it for another 3. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. A perfect card. This is the perfect common 2/2 for green. Love it. Lord Tuxum says, an upside bear. It's an upside bear. Inscription of Abundance. There's only 3 inscriptions. There's black, blue, green. I think that's right. 1 in the green. You can kick it for another 3. Wow, for 5. You can put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature. Target player gains X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures they control. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Ooh, that's a 5 in limited. You have the removal effect down here. For not that much money, you can spend a few turns building up the board, and then for just 5, you can do counters and fights and gain a little life as an extra bonus. This seems like a really solid little charm. But it is bad in constructed. Yes, it is. Primal Might just seems like the premium fight card in constructed. I mean, that's like really good. That's like really good. Iridescent Horn Beetle. Ooh, I did like the Nessian Horn Beetle, or the Nessian Horn Beetle. Iridescent Horn Beetle for 4 and a green, it's a 3/4. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 green insect creature token for each +1/+1 counter you've put on creatures under your control this turn. Okay. So, +1/+... Okay, so this is another build around. This, we've seen things that hint towards +1/+1 countering. This is a very good limited card to be on the lookout for if you have some +1/+1 counter creatures, such as, you know, Dauntless Survivor, stuff like that. Or even just, like, Gnarled Colony kickers. This, to me, seems fine. I would call this a limited, like, 4 out of 5. limited 3 out of 5. Unplayably garbage in constructed, I think. Seems like expensive, slow garbage. I mean, something it would be neat if it had Convoke. Yeah, Rhapsody Beam, it would be broken if it had Convoke. It would be so unfair. You know, there's some Mondo combos that I can imagine happening. You know, you cast Basri's Solidarity and blam! Out comes a whole bunch of shit. Or if you have the Ozolith and you just put like 8 +1/+1 counters on the Horned Beetle and you just summon 8 1/1s, I mean, that would be hilarious. But we might try to do it. We might try to make it work. It might become a thing. But I would give this a 4 out of 5 in Limited and a 1 out of 5 in Constructed. I recognize that this could make a lot of 1/1s. And going wide with 1/1s is, I mean, that's good. It's like very, very good. Maybe Basri Ket's Ultimate. Ooh, remember Basri Ket? Do you remember all those cool cards that dropped in the last set, none of which we could run because Uro and Teferi and Cats with Cauldrons were in the format? Do you remember when Wilderness Reclamation was the only card that anyone played? Do you remember when you watched Team of Reclamation versus Team of Reclamation in the top 15 of every single tournament, always crushing everything else, and all your ideas got shit on? Because I have it just branded right here in my cerebral lobe. I can't do any action at any point during the day without being reminded of the freaking deck, man. It drives me insane. God. So maybe this can actually benefit from things like Zriket coming in. Joraga Visionary. It's a 3/2 for 4 that when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Love cards like this. Love cards like this. I give it a 3 out of 5. I just love cards like this. Particularly because it's a reasonable body with card draw in a set with landfall. Okay? So the ability to get another card is nice, but let's not forget that even if it's land and not a spell, that's also nice. That's also nice. I quite like this. I quite like this. Joraga Visionary is going to have a little bit of competition because it is no Llanowar Visionary, which is the draw card 2/2 that taps for mana. But this is still fine. This is still fine. It's also a wizard, so it can be a little bit party-like. So I'll give it 3 out of 5 in Limited. I like it. But when it comes to Constructed, you're not Christopher Leonard. You can't make these cards work. Kazandu Mammoth. This card is so stupid. This is maybe the best land card. Kazandu Mammoth is a 3-mana 3/3. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, Kazandu Mammoth gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And it's also a land. This is the best. I mean, it's just so good. Maybe it's bold to call it the best one, but Jesus, I mean, you can do insane shit with Gruul here, man. You can do insane shit with Gruul. Gruul Landfall Aggro. Yeah, it's good stuff. This, I would call this just a 5 in Limited. A 3/3 for 3 with Landfall that can be a land is just so good. Is just so unbelievably good. Constructed, I'd maybe have to back it down to a 2 out of... No, not a 2 out of 5. They're all good. Like 3 or 4 out of 5. It's so good. It's so good. This is an Uptown Mammoth. Lets you play turn 4 Henge. I don't think it does that. Because the Henge is 7 and 2, so if you had this, then the Henge would be 4 and 2, so it would be 6. Oh man, I love this thing so much. You know, the more I amp up these land spells. Oh, turn 4. Oh, shit. Fantastic point. It's a 3/3, which would reduce the cost of the Great Henge to 6, but then when you play a land, it immediately boosts this to a 5/5, which reduces the cost down to 4. Great call. Great call. Nice. Nice. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love this card. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Yeah, I'm really interested in this Gruul landfall deck. There's so far 4 obvious includes for landfall aggro, and you love to see it. Kazandu Nectar Pot for 1 in a red. What the hell? Kazandu Nectar Pot for 1 in a green. It's a 1/3 landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. I am going to include 4 of these in the sideboard of my Naya landfall deck in case I'm against aggro, so I can smash down life gain, life gain, life gain, life gain. Big bada, 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 boom. Just swell on up with healths. I will be a healthy, wealthy, landfalling Naya running guy this Thursday. Kazandu Nectar Pot, I think is, this is more of a fillery type card in... I'd actually give it a 1 out of 5 constructed because it's just so circumstantial. I would also give this like a 2 out of 5 in limited because it's a 1/3 for 2, very good defensive blocker. If you have a landfall deck, this is the kind of stabilizer that will help you out. Love it. Love this one so much. Kazandu Stomper. By the way, is Casualties of War rotating? Because that feels like it was in one of the Ravnica sets. Fuck yes. Yes, it's rotating. Ugh. Yes. Oh, yeah. Kazandu Stomper. 6 mana, 6/5, trample. When Kazandu Stomper enters the battlefield, return up to 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. It's not a May. Oh no, it's return up to 2 lands. Okay. No, this card's better than I thought. You may return 1 or 0 or 2. You just do any one of those. It's great. It's great. It's great. So, this card, I actually think is... I'm going to call it a 2 out of 5. It's a fine card. It bounces things. It's common. Has trample. It's big. It's good. It's fine. It's good. You know? It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Probably better than I'm giving it credit for. But I tend to love 6 mana large creatures, and I tend to get punished for it. I tend to be like, oh baby, another Kazandu Stomper, and then I'm in the game and I can cast no cards. So I mean, you know, 5 out of 5 in limited. No, it's a 2. It's a 2. Unplayable Constructed Drek, not going to be run. Colony Ambush. A land that can also be a fight effect. Ooh, again, I'm going to be trying to run some 20 land decks, 6 or 7 of which are these flippery landies. Love it. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's incredible. It's an absolutely incredible design. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. It's literally instant speed prey upon. For a little bit more that can be a land. I just think it's so good. I just think it's so good. And you know, one of the inspirations, motivations, circumstations for me to be valuing these land flip cards so highly, so consistently, is kind of what it looked like when we all saw adventure creatures in Throne of Eldraine. Right? In Eldraine, you'd see something that would be like a more expensive, you know, like Lovestruck Beast or Bone Crusher Giant looked obviously good, but then there's even things like Murderous Rider, where it's like kill a thing and then you play a thing. What are some of the other really janky ones? Oh yeah, like the Giant that could put a land on the battlefield and then be bigger later and all this sort of stuff. Brazen Power. Yeah, there's a lot of things where you'd be like, oh, well, that's not that great, and then you'd start to play with it and you'd be like, oh fuck. I kind of feel like that about these dual-sided Lando Calrissian cards, where They individually don't let you do things, as the Eldraine cards individually let you do 2 things, but these will let you fuck with your mana base in a substantial way. Instead of having 17 lands, you have 17 lands and 23 spells. You're going to have, like, 13 lands, and then you're going to have 20 spells, and then you're going to have 7 spell lands, and that cumulative effect is going to feel really, really, really insane, I think. I claim, I assert, I argue. And that's why, I mean, if there's one thing that I have learned in my many, many years of playing lots and lots and lots of different card games, is when you start to have, at a deck level, efficiency, where it's just like small efficiency, sort of diffusely gained from a bunch of tiny sources. I mean, that is often more impactful than any one dope card. Lotus Cobra, I don't know how to evaluate this card. Mani Devati was just like, oh, Lotus Cobra was so great before, it's going to be so great again. I mean, I don't know how to evaluate this, because, like, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, so is this like a ramp card for an aggressive green deck? Is that what this is, right? And Mani Devati was just vomiting. Oh, it's so good. Oh, he's like losing his fucking mind about how good this card was. So I'm just going to give this a Mani Devati out of 5. And then give Mani a -1 out of 5 because he called me out about Arboreal Grazers, that butthole. In Limited, I don't know. I don't know this at all. I don't know this. I don't know this. I don't understand it. Now, keep in mind, it's whenever a land enters battlefield, add 1 mana of any color. So, for instance, if I play this on turn 2, turn 3 rolls around, I play a land, I now get 1 mana. So now I have 1 mana from the Cobra, 3 lands, tap all of them, play a 4 mana spell that puts 2 more green cards onto the battlefield. Actually, wait, does this work the way I think it does? No. Yeah, but like when that comes out, now you have 2 more mana generated, and you can play another Lotus Cobra. So maybe I should be eagerly running some more Lotus Cobras. Well, yeah, I guess if you play a Fabled Passage, crack it, play another Fabled Passage. Is Circuitous Root still in Standard B-Town Pro? Stay tuned, because there is a card coming in, Vastwood Surge. My other wiggly card. So maybe this is great. Maybe this is just like absolute plasma. Yeah, maybe I'll run some of these in my landfall deck. Maybe I'll run a few Lotus Cobras. Run a few of these. Again, I don't know how to. I feel really baffled at how to evaluate this card. Truly, I'm not entirely sure. Might of Murasa, 1 in a green. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, and if it was kicked, it gets +5/+5. Ooh, it's a mediocre combat trick. Woo! Dude, let me tell you, this frog is having the experience of, like, when the Robitussin starts kicking in. Like, this frog is just having it. He's going somewhere. And he can't quite believe it. His tongue feels way too big for his mouth right now. It's fine. It's 23rd cards, combat trick. You build a deck, and then you go, yeah, I don't really have any removal. I should probably put in a combat trick. You run Might of Murasa. It's fine. Common, no problem. Murasa Brute, 2 in a green. Oh, look at that interesting lore. Murasa Sproutling, 2 in a green. It's a plant elemental, 3/3 that you can kick. When Murasa Sproutling enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target card with a kicker ability from your graveyard to your hand. Ah, the design of this is awesome. Oh my god, how long have we had blue cards that return instant or sorceries to your hand, or green cards that return creatures to your hand? And this is a new in-betweener, right? Oh, I love this. You can kick it to return a kicker. Oh, so good. Perfect as a 3/3 for 3 if you're trying to beat your opponent down. Very nice as a way to just get a little bit of extra value when You, you know, have a little bit of extra land. The kicker cost is not that expensive. This is a terrific design. I love this. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 in limited due to the 3/3 stat line, the fact that you can get stuff back. It could probably be a little bit awkward if you're trying to do something like not die, and you also want to have a kicker card. Maybe you don't have a kicker card, and you're not sure what to do, and you're not under pressure. Something like that. You know, Murasa Sproutling can bring back another Murasa Sproutling. That is a great point. That is a great point. Daniel Hodge, voice actor, whose name is in fact a curriculum vitae. Yeah, not a constructed card, but really like this one in limited. Nissas Zendikon, 3 and a green, an aura, enchant land. Enchanted land is a 4/4 elemental creature with reach and haste. It's still a land. When enchanted land dies, return that card to its owner's hand. Wow. This is a 4/4 for 4 that also allows for an additional proc of landfall. I make it a big land, we swing, it dies, and then, you know, comes down. When enchanted land dies, return that card to its owner's hand. Great. Yeah, so I think that, enchant your Fabled Passage? Well, that would be a terrible idea, because then we'd lose the 4/4 effect. I think that this is just a solid card. It's just solid. It's a 4/4 for 4 that gives you an extra landfall flippery-dippery-do. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be cool. Don't really know how to evaluate it, but it seems cool. Seems cool. Seems cool. Seems cool. Why do you lose the 4/4? If it's a Fabled Passage, and you sack the 4/4 and you lose it, or you lose it to find another land, it goes back to your hand, but the Nissas Zendikon goes to the graveyard. Yeah, when the enchanted land dies, you return that land to its owner's hand. Not you don't return Nissas Zendikon. Welcome to Magic the Gathering, where we're all going to debate semantics about what that means. We're like a lower stakes Bill Clinton. We're not debating is because of an impeachment trial. We're debating that because we really want to get another land out. This is Zendikon. Oran-rief ooze. Oozes are some of my favorite creature types in all of Magic. Or I should say, ooze is one of my favorite creature types in all of Magic because I really like a lot of the oozes that exist. Perhaps the most notable is Predator Ooze. Predator Ooze is triple green, 1/1 indestructible. Whenever Predator Ooze kills a creature or attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Predator Ooze is awesome. Oran-rief ooze, 2 and a green for a 2/2 ooze. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever Oran-rief ooze attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh, fuck. Bro. Can you imagine a Selesnya tokens deck with, like, on turn 4, you have a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 3-drop, Oran-rief ooze, you smash down Basri's Solidarity, you swing him sideways. All of a sudden, put on a counter, put on a counter, put on a counter, put on a counter. Love it. Has standard merit. A 3 out of 5. Nah, a 1 out of 5 in standard. That's good. That has merit. We have real merit here with this Oran-rief ooze. This is the shit right here in standard. I don't really know how it's going to work, but I'm really hoping that I can make it work. Maybe it's a 6 out of 5. I don't know. It's my favorite. I can't wait. I can't wait. Now, in limited, this card is obviously excellent because when it attacks, it grows. It also helps everyone else grow. It's amazing. Oh, yeah. Oran-rief ooze. Fuck yes. Gonna make it work. Oh, yes. Oran-rief ooze. Fist pump out of 5. Heck yeah. 10 out of 10. Perfect 5 out of 7. Love it. Rabid bite. I don't give a shit. Reclaim the Waste, 1 green. Kicker 3. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it. Put it into your hand. If the spell was kicked, search your library for 2 basic land cards instead of 1. And they go into your hand? What? What is this knockoff ramp card? What is this garbage? What? What? Huh. Reclaim the Wastes. Nah, leave them as wastes. 0 out of 5 constructed. 0 out of 5 standard. It is not good. Not good. It's like bad Cultivate. You can pay even more mana to still have it not be as good as Cultivate. Roiling Regrowth. 2 and a green, sack a land. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands. Put them onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle your library. Fuck yeah. That's what I'm... This is the landfall energy that we need right here. Oh my god. Can you imagine on turn 3, Lotus Cobra is already out. You sack 1, put 2 basic lands out, tap, gain 2 more mana, fart down your second Lotus Cobra. Bing bong, says your friend Sean with his fancy song. Instant speed, G&G. Okay, let's move on. No, let's not. I didn't even give it a rating. Probably going to be above average in limited. It's a ramp card that involves potentially duplicate landfall activations. There's enough landfall out there that Roiling Regrowth could actually function both as ramp and combat trick. End value, so I'd give it like a 4 out of 5 in standard. It's one of the uncommons I'd be looking for in a landfall deck. In constructed, I'd maybe give it more like a 2 out of 5 because ramp and landfall, being able to guarantee both of these are happening at the same time. I mean, I still would rather have a Cultivate over a Roiling Regrowth early game. But I mean, you know, maybe if you get some landfall 2-drops like Lotus Cobra, maybe you want to do a Roiling Regrowth instead of a Cultivate, you know? I certainly do. Dude, this smoke is killing me, man. Let me just say. The air quality around here, I never get headaches. Ever. First time in my life getting headaches, man. Well, I shouldn't say first time in my life, but like today I actually have a headache. I've had a headache for like the last week. Time to buy some air purifiers. We got them, Ragabash. We got them. But a lot of them are sold out nearby. So we have one. We have one, and it's in the other room where the cats are because their life is more important than mine. Scale the Heights, 2 and a green. Jelly Bean. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. You gain 2 life. You may play an additional land this turn. Draw a card. I now see exactly why Ed the editor used Scale the Heights as the graphic background for today's stream. Because this is a card built for Sean Plott. This is it. Get big, get strong, play land, draw again. This is a good card. It's a clear enabler for the +1/+1 counter synergy deck in green. It ramps, it redraws. It's perfect. It's perfect. This is another nice Swiss Army knife card. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I love it. It is bad in standard. I wouldn't want to run in standard because I'd be running Uro. Is that clear? Alright, so this is a limited card and I like it there. Oh, it's so good. This is right up there with Felidar Retreat. Okay? 2 and a green for a 1/1 insect called Scute Swarm. Landfall. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If you control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scute Swarm instead. Okay? Do you understand how many Scute Swarms we're going to be getting? Do you understand, bruh? Okay? Now, the reason I like this is that if I'm a landfall deck against an aggro deck and I can get a Scute Swarm down, they're going to deal some damage to me. And then the next turn, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to probably get 2 lands down on that turn. Maybe even 3 lands down on that turn. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to start making a whole bunch of extra insects that wind up being good blockers, giving me extra time to stabilize with a Felidar Retreat. Oh my god, this is just going to be so good. This is going to be so good. Now, it's obviously super vulnerable. It obviously has a lot of vulnerability to things like deal 1 damage to all creatures, which does exist in red and all that stuff. If you have Ashaya, Soul of the Wild, do you just break the game? I think you do. No, because it's non-token creatures. Non-token creatures are forests. Tokens are not forests. Ashaya, Soul of the Wild's power, blah, blah, blah. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. If it was creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types, then yes, this game would be absolutely stupid. I'm close on my timing. Boop. Love this card. 5 out of 5 standard, 5 out of 5. I mean, it's absolutely 5 out of 5 limited because you just grow exponentially, and that's just stupidly awesome. God, the limited looks like it's going to be fun as hell in Zendikar Rising. On Thursday, let's do a little bit of limited and a little bit of Naya Landfall Constructed. That's going to be a lot of fun. Oh. Okay. Now, in Constructed, I would probably say that this is going to be able to be good in some decks. I'm going to play it a shitload, so this is a 5 out of 5 Constructed. This is like one of my favorite Constructed cards. I'm going to try to make this thing work. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be un-frickin' fucking believable. I can't wait. Skyclave Pickaxe. This is one of the cycles of equipment. It's 1 green. When it enters the battlefield, attach it. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Is this actually good? Huh. No, it isn't. Spring Mantle Cleric, 4 and a green. Spring Mantle Cleric enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. Hey, oh, this is one of the nice limited +1/+1 counter cards. Wow, black green +1/+1 counter has some real nice, really clear synergy. Yeah, the art is absolutely beautiful. Moody Saucer 91. I mean, it's just really well done. It has a nice up close intimacy where the background still adds like an extreme epicness of the scale. So this is going to wind up being a 5 mana 3/4 a good amount of the time, and a 5 mana 4/5 the rest of the time. 5 mana 4/5, but it has +1/+1 counters on it, which synergizes with tons of stuff. Makes it a real staple, I think, for the counter-based decks. Irrelevant and Constructed. Strength of Solidarity, 1 green. Choose target creature you control, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature in your party. At sorcery speed. This is me being like, I'm trying to make you work in the deck, and this is Strength of Solidarity being like, please don't let go, definitely include me in your 23. I don't know, man. Party is an incidental mechanic. I don't think Party is a build-around mechanic, generally speaking. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's not great. Anytime someone says Party, just imagine that the number is 2. Number's 2, straight up. Swarm Shambler, a single green. The Swarm Shambler enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh. Whenever a creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it becomes a target of a spell an opponent controls, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Pay 1 and tap it. Put a +1/+1 counter on Swarm Shambler. It's very good and limited, right? Because you just play it and it just gets bigger, just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and then anytime someone tries to target it, it summons a 1/1, which is good. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. It'll grow. It'll grow over time. It'll grow over time. Also, whenever, yeah, seems good. 5 out of 5 in limited. 5 out of 5 in limited. Yeah. You don't really need to spend any mana on it. It's just 1 and a tap. I think that whenever a creature you control with a counter on it becomes target of a spell an opponent controls, you create an insect. This is just really nice value. This is kind of a bland, ultra value card. It takes so long to continue to grow and be awesome in Constructed that I wouldn't run it, but I really love this one in Limited. I really, really do. Tajuru Blightblade. 1 green. Death Touch 1/1er. Can I say I love these in Limited? Love this in Limited so much. Anytime I see a 1 mana 1/1 Death Toucher, I'm just like, love it. Oh, and it's a rogue. Oh, it's no longer a scorpion. It's no longer a snake. It's no longer some sort of fungus with scary bright colors to indicate poison. It's just a Tajuru Blightblade. Look at him. He's spreading blight on his blade. It's right there in the picture. Tajuru Paragon, 1 and a green. It's an elf. It's a 3/2 elf for 2. Ooh, Tajuru Paragon is also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. It's kind of like me when I'm playing a single-player RPG where I've ground all the way up to level 99. What class am I? Yes. Kicker 3. If I enter the battlefield, if I'm kicked, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a card that shares a creature type with it from among them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Okay. So, this is a 3/2 for 2 that occasionally you pay 5 for as a 3/2, draw a card. So this will help enable your party because it's all the things. It only fills in 1 slot in the party thing, so it's kind of like, you know, jokers are wild. So if I had a rogue, then maybe Tajuru Paragon could be the cleric and fill in that role, that sort of thing. So part of me thinks that this is... The thing that's weird about Tajuru Paragon is that if you play it and you see a Tajuru Paragon in the top 6, you can't take it, because Tajuru Paragon, the card, is an elf. When Tajuru Paragon is on the battlefield, then Tajuru Paragon's text right here applies. But if it's in the hand, it doesn't. So I couldn't, for instance, make a mono-green beatdown list, play Tajuru Paragons on turn 2 and stuff, and then on turn 5 play Tajuru Paragon to find another Tajuru Paragon. I couldn't do that. This actually feels playable in Standard. It has some relevance. But it's weird for me, the idea that a mono-green beatdown list, or even a Gruul beatdown list, would have anything other than warriors in it. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, no, the Tajuru Paragon can find another Tajuru Paragon because it is an elf in addition to being cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, I take that back. For some reason, I just forgot that it was an elf. I think because when I read that Tajuru Paragon is also my brain read Tajuru Paragon is a cleric, not is also. So let's see here. Therefore, yeah, this actually feels like it has some merit in Standard. This is maybe my most sincere evaluation. I think that this could show up in Standard. A 3/2 for 2 is something that a lot of green decks are always looking for. Being able to just get that extra 1 power out on turn 2 instead of having like a 2/3 or a 2/2 with upside. It's a 3/3 like a Barkhide Troll, or it's a 3/2 like Crowl Harpooner, or it's a 3/2 Tajuru Paragon. Hey, ooh. By the way, again, it does not max out party checks. You need 4 different creatures to have a party. The fact that the Tajuru Paragon is all those types means you still just have 1 dude in your party. And if you had a Cleric, Rogue, and Warrior, the Tajuru would be the wild card that would fill in as the Wizard. Or if you had a Cleric, Rogue, and Wizard, the Tajuru would be the wild card that would fill in as the Warrior. So, anytime I see look at the top 6, I get excited, because 6 is kind of a lot. 6 is, I mean, we're talking Muxus levels there. I gotta stop twiddling this pen. I also think that this is going to be solid and limited. Probably a 5 in limited. Anything that is a good beater that has the ability to draw is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. So maybe actually like 2 and 4, something like that. 3 and 4. Tajuru Snarecaster. We've seen this a million times. You wind up with one of these in your green decks. What can you do? Not a playable constructed piece. Tangled Florahedron. Oh, a land ramper? Oh, a land ramper? Oh, you mean a land ramper? Will I be running this land ramper in there? Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes, I will. I love Tangled Florahedron. I love Tangled Florahedron. It's a Tangly Florahedra It is obviously individually worse than a Llanowar Elf in terms of its cost and mana generation and stats, but it's a Lando. It's a Lando. It is a Landro Calrissian. You love to see it. This card is great. This card is great. I love this so much. God, I love these dual lands. I love these so much. Alright, Taunting Arbor Mage. 2 and a green for a kicker 3. If it was kicked, all creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. This is your finisher. This card is amazing and limited. It's obviously a limited card. You're never going to run this in Standard. But if you pay 6 mana, you have a 1/1, and you swing with the board, your opponent has to block the 1/1. All creatures able to block the 1/1 do so. So then you smash through with the rest of the stuff. It's great. I give this like 4 or even a 5 in Standard. I love cards like this. Because it can also function as a removal spell, where if you have a large creature and your opponent has 2 small creatures, you can swing and force them to block with both of them. I really like this. I really love this. Love this. It's a little pricey, but, you know, there's been effects like this that cost 5. Well, there's the 2 green and 3 green one that was like, give a creature +3/+3, and all things that block it have to do so. I mean, it was great. Territorial Scythe Cat. 2 and a green. Trample. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Territorial Scythe Cat. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just good. It's just good shit. Lots of good ways to get big. I mean, it stinks that it comes out as a 2/1. Stinks that it comes out as a 2/1. I think green just looks incredible in this set. Green looks incredible. Oh, look at this trampling, landfalling, swelling cat. And all these things that benefit from swelling cats. Wow. I mean, I think that the Golgari landfall, Gruul landfall, a lot of landfalls are looking very nice. Turn Timber Ascetic. 4 and a green. When Turn Timber Ascetic enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. 5/4. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a fine card, not a constructed card, but it's a fine limited card. It's 2, maybe it's even a 1. Yeah, you sometimes have them. You sometimes have them. And given that some of the landfall things start weak and power up later, maybe this is a nice one to have just to stabilize a wee bit. Turn Timber Symbiosis. 4 triple green. This is the one that you can force it into the battlefield untapped by paying life. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. If that card has converted mana cost 3 or less, it enters with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I love this card. I am putting this in my damn landfall deck because I can look for one of my huge landfall triggers and additional time things. I can get my Lotus Cobras out. I can get a huge Scute swarm out, man. Oh. And it's just a land. It's a land. Historic, this pulls Palakapal? Yes. And it's land. It's land. Is it worth the cost? Yes. Again, if there was a sorcery that had this effect with this cost, we'd all call it bad. It's the fact that it's a land, so I can have a tinier mana base, a thicker flip support card thing against, instead of, say, having maybe 27, 28 land cards, we might run 20 land cards or 22 land cards, but then have 10 of these dual cards. So that's what's interesting. Vastwood Fortification, unbelievable. This is your limited card. This is your limited enabler card. I can't wait to get this. Holy crap, this is going to be amazing to play in limited. Holy crap, I cannot wait. Vastwood Thicket. Ah, yes, this is the card I've been eagerly waiting for. Kicker 4. First of all, if you just pay the base cost, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle up. If the spell was kicked, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. If I'm running Scute Swarms and Felidar Retreats, we're putting lands out, we're summoning tokens, all of a sudden, everything gets +2/+2. So, I mean, I cannot wait to landfall my heart out. This is going to be constructed 5 out of 5 for your Pal Day 9. This is going to be constructed 5 out of 5 for your Pal Day 9. Limited, probably quite good in limited. Maybe even like 3 out of 5, but not astounding. I mean, maybe if you have enough landfall stuff, this is going to be good. But if you're landfalling again, look for the uncommons. It is quite very tight. Veteran Adventurer. Oh, look at that. It's also a Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party, and it has Vigilance. 5/5 Vigilance in green. Really good. This is often just a 5/5 for 5 with Vigilance, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. I view Party as a very incidental mechanic. Vine Gecko. Not constructed. Vine Gecko, 1 in the green. The first kicked spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. So whenever you cast a kicked spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Vine Gecko. I mean, these green cards are incredible. This is incredible. Right? Like, cheaper kickers, and when you kick, I get bigger, and there's tons of things with +1/+1 counter synergy. This is a card that I feel like is high value for kicker decks, counter decks, or aggro decks, just like all of them. It's a bear with immense upside. This is one of the best green cards I think we've even seen in Limited. This is great. And it's an Elementor Lizard. Elementor. It's an Elementor. Isn't that cool? It's an Elementor Lizard. Oh, yes. It's multicolored time. Multicolored time. I do think that there is going to be some sort of Boros Warrior potential. Akiri Fearless Voyager, 1 red-white. Whenever you attack a player with 1 or more equipped creatures, draw a card. Pay 1 white, you may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible until end of turn. Kind of a weird type of interaction around equipment. You can swing with the equipment, you can weaken the creature and make it indestructible. Kind of cool. But when you attack, you get to draw a card. There's another Boros equipment enabler that's really cool. It's really cool. So, doesn't have flying. I mean, I don't really know how to evaluate this one. This is pretty cool. I do think, again, there's going to be some sort of constructed warrior deck. This is going to be a big enabler for it, as well as Nahiri that we'll see later. In Limited, I really don't know. I was not inspired by almost any of the equipment except for the white one. And we'll look at the other artifact equipment a little bit because I don't remember what they look like. Brushfire Elemental. Haste. Brushfire Elemental. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Cool. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, +2/+2 till end of turn. Gruul Landfall, man. I'm telling you, the deck builds itself. The deck builds itself. Gruul Landfall aggro. Cleric of... Oh, yeah. Whatever. Listen, this has some legs. This has some real legs. If you can get enough landfall creatures, this is good. It's a 3/3 for 2 a lot of the time. Sometimes it's a 5/5 for 2. You know, what can you do? Cleric of Life's Bond. A white and a black. Whenever another cleric enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Cleric of Life's Bond. A lot of these 2-color cards are the uncommons that you want as the centerpiece for your whatever the heck deck. You want this as your centerpiece for your landfall deck. You want this as the centerpiece for your sort of life gain countery drain deck. I do think that there's a lot of these Orzhov cards in Constructed that kind of have like whenever you gain life, that person takes damage. Whenever you take damage, you're going to gain life, and when you gain life, you get big, and then this happens, and so on. Cleric of Life's Bond, I think, is really nice for the whenever a cleric enters a battlefield under your control, you gain a life. Just due to things like veto, that sort of thing. Iceman, I think, captures it. Orzhov Life Gain Jank, getting another friend. I'm going to give it a 1 in Constructed. I hope to see it. I'd love to see it. It would be a dream come true. All right. Let's pick a one that has a little bit of fun to say. Grakmaw, Skyclave Ravager. 1. Black. Green. Grakmaw, Skyclave Ravager, enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Great. Hydras enter with counters. We've seen Golgari be very +1/+1 counters focused. Out of water. Whenever another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, put a +1/+1 counter on Grakmaw. Huh. Whenever Grakmaw dies, create an XX black and green Hydra creature token where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Grakmaw. What? So, it's a 3/3, and when it dies, it makes a 3/3. If it's a 5/5 and it dies, it makes a 5/5. Shit, man. This is a 5 in both Limited and Constructed. I mean, it's just 2-for-1 value. I play it, you delete it, it comes back, you gotta delete another thing. That's really sick. Wow, that's sticky, man. Hold on. I need to send out a message. It has been sent. Love this card. This is great. This is just gets around stuff. Kargan War Leader. It's a warrior. 1 red, white. Boros Warriors is a thing. Other warriors you control get +1/+1. Awesome. I don't know how awesome Constructed Warriors is going to be. I'm going to put a question mark out of 5 for the Warriors in Standard. But for Limited, Signpost, uncommon, 4 out of 5. Look for this. Make a Warriors deck in Boros. Find it. Put it in. There you go. Bing bong. Also, do note that this is a core warrior. There's a lot of core cards that are warriors. You heard me plugging like crazy the Is It Wizard. There's 2 Is It Wizards that are incredible here. Kaza, Royal Chaser. A blue and a red for a 1/2 flying haster. And you can tap it. The next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less to cast. where X is the number of wizards you control as this ability resolves. So, you have 2 wizards out, flip them sideways, 2 cheaper, blast things down. Great card. Love to see this in Limited. Would this be good in Constructed? Maybe. Maybe. This is kind of like a weirder Goblin Electromancer and a more conditional Goblin Electromancer. Goblin Electromancer guarantees you cast many, many, many tiny things. Many 2-cost things become 1-cost. Kaza Royal Chaser might be something where you want to cast a lot of 4 and 3-cost things for 1. So I'm really interested. I have no idea. My evaluatory skills are wearing out because I've been talking non-stop for almost 6 hours. I'm tired. 1/2 Flying Haster is pretty nice. Pretty nice. But the 2 damage from the Goblin Electromancer and the passive, I don't know. Linvala, Shield of Seagate. Oh, and obviously you're going to pick this for your Is It deck in Limited. Oh, hey, Deathsea. Oh, hey. Hey, how's Korea, Deathsea? Good to see you, man. Linvala, Shield of Seagate. 1 white, blue, legendary angel wizard, a 3/3. 3/3 flyer, it's like already a 3/3 flyer wizard. It's great. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, choose target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Until your next turn, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Sack Linvala, choose hexproof or indestructible. Creatures you control gain that ability till end of turn. Not the best whistler. Rarely are you going to get the full party effect, but I mean, a flying wizard that you can sack to just protect your whole board is terrific. This might be playable and constructed, particularly the indestructible and hexproof things. Like if you are doing Azorius Flyers, your opponent casts a sweeper, you make everything indestructible, you live through the sweeper. Hey, that seems pretty good. But yeah, I'd give it a 3 out of 5 constructed and like maybe a 4 out of 5 in Limited. 4 out of 5. I like flyers. I really like flyers in Limited. Lull Mage's Familiar. 1 green blue for a 2/4 beast that ramps. Whenever you cast a kick spell, you gain 2 life. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Terrible in Constructed. Negative points to be included in a Constructed deck. Oh, to be a Lull Mage's Familiar. How embarrassing it would be to show up in my 60-card decks. But 3 mana, 2/4, very good on the defensive front, both in terms of stats, very good on the gain life, very good on the ramping. It's great. It's terrific. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is that I would want it on the defense, on the 2/4 stat line. But if you're using it for the mana, you can't defend with it on that turn in Limited. Obviously in Constructed. Why would you ever run this in Constructed? You have Uro. I mean, come on! What is the matter with you? But in Limited, I'm a little bit of a fan. Moss Pit Skeleton. Ah, yes. This is what I will look like socializing when quarantine ends. A black and a green for a 2/2. Kicker 3. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters on it. Golgari counters in Limited. It's going to be so fire. If Moss Pit Skeleton was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 3 counters. Great. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control. If Moss Pit Skeleton is in your graveyard, you may put Moss Pit Skeleton on top of your library. I mean, it's okay. That effect is okay. If it was like put it in your hand, or put it on the battlefield. Hello, sweetheart. I'd be more down for it, but really, it's a 2/2 for 2 that's occasionally a 5/5 for 5. 3 out of 5 in Limited. Seems good. Seems fine. Seems totally fine. Not a constructed card. Ever. Murasa Root Grazer. Oh, yeah. Welcome to my standard deck, Murasa Root Grazer. I probably want to have a Lotus Cobra instead, but still, I love the Murasa Root Grazer so much. It's a 2/3 for 2. Vigilance. Good defender. It also allows you to put a basic land card from your hand to the battlefield once a turn. Once a turn. Murasa Root Grazer on turn 2. Turn 3, Cultivate. Get an extra land out, and tap the Root Grazer to put a 5th land out. Next turn, you just put another land out with the Murasa Root Grazer. It's so sick. It's so sick. Instant speed. It's amazing. Now, if for some reason you're running low on lands in the hand and you want to proc some more landfall effects, let's return that basic land to the hand and bow, put it right on back out again. I love this card. Key signpost common for draft for the landfalls in Selesnya, but I don't really remember if there were good white landfall cards because that's the first color we were reviewing, and my memory lasts precisely 2 hours. Oh, yeah. I really like this card. Also, 2/3 is just great defensive stat line. Great defensive stat line. I love to see it. It's terrific. A+ out of 10. It's so nice. Yeah, I'd give this a 4 out of 5 in standard and a 5 out of 5 in limited. I love this card. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. You get to put extra lands out every turn. It's not like an Arboreal Grazer, which rotated, by the way. It's not like an Arboreal Grazer that you play and you get the land out once. You play this, and then you get another land out, and then another land out, and another land out. You can wind up playing 2 lands a turn for multiple turns. It's awesome. You also heard me mention before that there was a second equipment enabler here. This is it, Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients. It's a 4-mana Boros Planeswalker. +1, create a 1/1 white core warrior creature token. You may attach an equipment you control to it. Holy shit, man. Can you imagine swinging with a really great piece of equipment on a 1/1, and then it dies, and you summon another 1/1? Immediate re-equipment. That's fantastic. -2, look at the top 6 cards. You may reveal a warrior or equipment card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. Really good. -3, Nahiri, Heir of Ancients, deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to twice the number of equipments you control. Okay. More than anything, I love any planeswalker that on a plus summons a token. I love tokens. Maybe tokens are my favorite mechanic in Magic the Gathering. I love tokens. Tokens. So Nahiri has the benefit of being able to just endlessly summon tokens and eventually overrun more slower control-your decks. But if you're doing Boros, you're being aggro, you can just keep on digging deep for extra warriors and whatnot. It's really nice. This seems like a perfect high-end for a Boros Warriors card in Constructed, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I say 3 out of 5 because I'm just not 100% certain that Warriors is even going to be a thing. The -3 is just weird. I'm thirsty. I'll drink water later. Nissa of Shadowed Bows. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a 5 out of 5 in limited. Just due to the ability to make endless little creaturey deachery doos. Nissa of Shadowed Bows. Maybe one of the top 3 cards in this entire set, I think. 2 black, green, 4 loyalty. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on Nissa of Shadowed Bows. You can +1 untap target land you control. You may have it become a 3/3 elemental creature with haste and menace until end of turn. Not forever, just until end of turn. Still land, so you can sort of ping pong for a little bit. But let's look at that -5. You may put a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control onto the battlefield from your hand or graveyard with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Repeated Resurrection. Every time you play land and plus, things are growing back up. I really think Nissa of Shadowed Bows is going to be able to just, like, you play Nissa, and then you just, like, landfall, and you can just, like, -5. It is pretty tight. Yeah, look at that. You can put something from your hand or your graveyard. Now, one of the reasons why I am obsessed with this card is that she says hand or graveyard. Often with Reanimator decks, the struggle is getting the good thing into the graveyard. You know, like Stitcher's Supplier is in Historic, it's not in Standard. God, How do I get my good shit in the bin? You look for cards like Tormenting Voice that you cast and forces you to discard a card from your hand just so you can reanimate it. Nissa Shadow's Bows, you can have an empty graveyard. Boom, smash down something huge. You can have one huge creature in the graveyard. Bring it back in the same way with all sorts of reanimation things. And then also, let's not forget that it gets 2+1/+1 counters on it, and Nissa can get multiple loyalty in a turn. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. So Reanimator decks have always been a little bit distant from Tier 1, but this is super nice. I really like this. So I'm going to give this a 5 in Standard, a 5 in Limited. Everything about this card makes me tickled. Love to see it. Omnath, Locus of Creation. Ah, yes, Cheeto Fingers has been dipping his hands into all the various snack jars. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's got guacamole fingers over here. We got ranch fingers, you filthy Omnaths. And, of course, Cheeto Fingers abound. It's a red, a green, a white, a blue, everything but black. Legendary creature elemental. When Omnath, Locus of Creation, enters the battlefield, draw a card. Landfall. When a land enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. If it's the first time a land entered the battlefield. If it's a second time, add red and green and white and blue. If it's a third time, Omnath deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you control. I actually hate this card and think it sucks in Standard. Yeah, I think it's just absolute garbage. Like, it is as bad as Omnath's diet based upon the stains on his little fingers, okay? It's just bad. If you want to do a landfall deck, don't try to do a 4-color, disgusting snack gobbler Omnath. Just put in a Felidar Retreat. Just put in Scute Swarm. Put in some token generating basic goodness, okay? That's it. That's it. Done. In Limited, also seems garbage because it's hard to cast, man. 4 different colors. Boo, don't want to see it. This is the worst card of them all. Time to die on the hill. Omnath, you might be fun in Commander. You're no fun, Standard or Limited. Get the hell out of here. Aura, Skyclave Hierophant. 2, white, black, a cleric. For a 3/3 lifelinker, when Aura, Skyclave Hierophant, or another cleric you control dies, return target cleric card with lesser converted mana cost from your graveyard to the battlefield. So if the 4 mana one dies, you get a 3 mana one. If the 3 mana one dies, you get a 2 mana one. If the 2 mana one dies, you get a 1 mana one. If the 1 mana dies, you don't get one. But this is sick, okay? This is sick, just cascading recursion. It's amazing. It's amazing, 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 amazing. I definitely think that this is going to have some combo weirdness happening in Standard because there's been a lot of Orzhov life ping-pong clerical bullshit that's been occasionally showing up and then sort of disappearing again. It's sort of been like vibrating with potential. I think Aura Skyclave Hierophant is a beautiful top end, and some of the other rotating out preventative things I think will allow this a little room to breathe. I'm going to try to make it work. Jank out of 5, baby. In Limited, this is just a solid value card. There is a ton of black and white clerics, like a ton, like vampire clerics in particular. So, you know, hey, I think it's got something in there. I'm excited to see it. I'm starting to get tired. I will admit, I'm starting to get tired. My throat is dry. The smoke continues to billow outside. But by God, we're going to get through these artifacts and these lands, even if it tires us. There we go. Phylath, World Sculptor. 4 and red and green. When Phylath, World Sculptor, enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each basic land you control. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 +1/+1 counters on target plant you control. It's a landfall finisher. It's a landfall finisher. Now, O10 General says, oh, basic lands only, never mind. Well, the thing is, with all the rotating away of the shock lands, I think players are going to be running many more copies of Duel, or many more copies of Basics. Especially because Cultivate and Vastwood Surge both hunt only for basic lands. So Phylath, I think, is a very reasonable swell-uppy boy in order to, if your board's clear, you can slam down Phylath and some lands and immediately have some threats. Love to see this. If you're playing in Limited, absolute Mondo Bomb. Constructed, potential Mondo Bomb. Potential. Here's an equipment that I actually think could be good. When Ravager's Mace enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. It gets +1/+0 for each creature in your party, and has Menace. Menace is a pretty obnoxious keyword that's used pretty sparingly, I feel. And even then, when it's used sparingly, it's nice. Ravager's Mace, I think, could be kind of interesting on a slightly slower deck to just play this, even if it's just +0/+0 and Menace. Just add Menace to a thing. Not a constructed card, but I do think that maybe if you're in like some sort of interesting Rakdos Warriors kind of look, you put in a Ravager's Mace, comes out and equips itself, huh? Ah, yes, the Thoring Thought Thief. You heard me say before, I'll say it again. Constructed appears to be pushing Dimir Flash quite hard, and the Dimir Rogue decks, I think, are going to have some potential, especially with Concerted Defense. So this is a Flash Flying, 1/3 for 2. As long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, rogues you control get +1/+0. Whenever 1 or more rogues you control attacks, each opponent mills 2 cards. It does like everything. Everything that you would want. Especially if you have like 2 of them out. I mean, goodness, they're all buffing each other. So I think that this card is excellent. 4 out of 5 constructed. In Limited, I don't want to evaluate it because I'm tired. But it's a rogue, so it's probably doing something good. He's in my party. Spoils of Adventure. Ah, yes, this is another one of the, I feel like, good party payoffs out there. It's 6 mana for gain 3 life and draw 3 cards, but if you have like 1 or 2 or 3, you can start getting to the point where you are paying 4 mana to gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. I think that's really good. I'm evaluating all of my party cards as if there are 2 members of the party in it. So, with that in mind, this kind of appeals to me, kind of appeals to my sentimentalities. Oh, look, they're all laughing. Huh, he thinks he's going to win by doing a party build in Azorius. I don't know. There's some good, there's the White Wizard we just looked at. There are a number of nice flyer type things. I just think that this is going to be a terrific refill cheaply, even if you just have a few creatures in 2 parties. Yeah, I like this one. Umara Mystic is the other Izzet, a multicolored card that I think is going to be terrific. Signpost uncommon, you see this and your Izzet, snatch it right up. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery or wizard spell, Umara Mystic gets +2/+0 till end of turn. Like, holy shit. I mean, my god, that's a lot of damage. I mean, I'm happy to have prowess flyers like Mistral Singer or something like that. This is +2/+0. I mean, really with prowess, I don't care that much about the health. Most of the time, it's about the damage puncturing through, and this punctures, man. I also love the fact that the Umara Mystic is flying on a stingray. Pretty rad. Oh, I haven't seen this card. Verazol, the Split Current. X green-blue for a serpent, legendary. When it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each mana spent to cast it. Ah, so if X is 3, 5 total mana was spent. Okay, whenever you cast a kicked spell, you may remove 2 +1/+1 counters from Verazol. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose targets for that copy. What? That is so weird. Because it just says whenever you cast a kick spell, you can copy the spell. So if I'm casting like a whatever it is, like Crater Baloth, or whatever it is. The kicked 10/10 with haste. I just remove 2 counters and make 2 10/10s with haste. What's the name of that Baloth? It's like Stone Knuckle Baloth, or whatever the hell it is. What is the name of it? What is that called? Is it Gorging Baloth? Big Baloth? I think it was big Baloth. Something. It was sort of like Stone Forehead Baloth or something like that. Cragplate Baloth, maybe. God, absolutely pushed Baloth. I'm not evaluating this card. You can't make me do it. Oh yeah, Yasharn, Implacable Earth. 2 green, white. A 4/4, when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest and a basic plains. Reveal those cards and put them into your hand. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. Woo! This might be an interesting way to get yet more basics in the deck for landfall, but a 4/4 for 4 that finds land is going to be great in limited, like a 4 out of 5. The can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents. I'm going to wait for the meta to shake out before I start committing too many of these to my landfall deck, because that effect is unbelievably relevant in many decks, but yeah, he's a good little piggy. He's a good piggy. For constructed, maybe this feels a little bit circumstantial. I'm interested in the idea of, if I have a landfall deck, I want to have landfall-based solutions to sacrifice-based things. Boom. Pay this and they can no longer sack stuff, killing Woe Striders. It's interesting. Zagras, Thief of Heartbeats. Ooh. 4 black-red. Spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. So it's probably, again, with 2 things, it's 2 black-red. Flying Death Touch Haste. Ooh. Other creatures you control have Death Touch. Ooh. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. Ooh. 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 Rakdos Party Time? Rakdos Parties? 4/4 Flying Death Touch Haste. I mean, come on. 4/4 Flying Death Touch Haste is good. 4/4 Flying Death Touch Haste is really good. I mean, 4/4 Flying Haste? It's a Thundermaw Hellkite right there, man. Walk Without Rhythm says, finally, an answer to Oko. Yeah, huh. Yeah. I like this. I'm going to give it a 4 in Constructed. Obviously, it's straight Plasma Unlimited. A Flying Death Touch Haster with everything getting Death Touch. You lock down the ground, I'll smash through in the air. It's incredible. This is fantastic. I love this card. Zareth San, the Trickster. I keep thinking we're at the end because we're at like the U's, and then there's like a V and a Z, and there's like another Z. Is there another one? No. Okay, there we go. Zareth San, the Trickster. 3 blue, black for a flash 4/4. Pay 4, return an unblocked attacking rogue you control to its owner's hand. Put Zareth San, the Trickster, from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Okay. When Zareth San deals combat damage to a player, you may put target permanent card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Is this ninjutsu? Okay, so I swing with a baby rogue, and then I play Zareth San, and I kind of swap spots, hit you, and then resurrect one of their creatures under my control. Dimir Rogue, that's a deck. Dimir Rogue's a deck. Dimir Rogue's a deck, man. Dimir Rogue. So you can use his ability from your hand, that's right. Oh, it's put a target permanent card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And you know what's going to be in the graveyard? All sorts of shit, because we're rogue and we're milling stuff. Millin, millin, millin. I can put target permanent card. Oh my god, I can put a land. I can put a land. I could play land. This card is hot, hot stuff. 5 out of 5. Constructed. It's going to show up. It's going to hurt me. I'm going to try to hurt him. We're all going to hurt. It's going to be a lot of pain, start to finish, top to bottom. In Limited, a flash 4/4 that can sneak its way in. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a flyer that's unblocked. We are past the declare blockers phase. Play Zerasan, get more shit. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 staying alive. Zerasan giving me hives. This is it. This is the it shit. We love to see it. Limited bomb, constructed strong. Gonna see it all year long. On to the A. We gotta do artifacts, we gotta do lands. And I'm not gonna spend virtually any time on the lands, so we'll be done with this pupperoni soon. Cliffhaven Kitesail for 1. When Cliffhaven Kitesail enters the battlefield, attach to target creature you control. It has flying. That's actually legitimately acceptable. This is an acceptable card. It's 1 and it just attaches. That's a yeah! Oh my god! And you can equip it to 2. Hey! Yeah! Alright, give all of our shit flying. That's actually a 2 out of 5 in Limited. It's not terrible. Not a constructed card. Wow, that's really great. Forsaken Mammoth. 5 for a mythic. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for void mana, add an additional void mana. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. Oh, we're gonna build some bullshit with this card. Don't pick it up in Limited. You're gonna not want it. You're gonna hate to see it. This is a good artifact, man. We got some of that void plasma going on, man. This is some... we're going to build some dumb bullshit. Mono green Tron from your pal Mono green Sean. Maybe coming on up. There is no Nissa. There is no problem. We have the Forsaken Monument. Yeah, I love this. Oh my gosh. Lithoform Engine 4. A mythic legendary artifact. Look at this shit. 2, copy target activated or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Planeswalkers, double them. 3 in tap. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose targets for the new copy. Copy target permanent spell you control. The copy becomes a token. We're gonna run this. We're gonna make some bullshit happen with this thing. This is actually semi-reasonable in a landfall limited deck. You can just copy every single freaking creature you play and just ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Copy-paste. It's the Control-V engine. And here are the various abilities to Control-C. I mean, this is stunning. Oh, this one. Myriad Construct. For 4. Artifact Creature Construct. It's a 4/4 for 4. Okay. Already good enough. Kicker 3. If Myriad Construct was kicked, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each non-basic land your opponent controls. That's weird. When Myriad Construct becomes a target of a spell, sacrifice it and create a number of 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens equal to its power. And it's the target of any spell. Okay. So if I targeted it with 2 spells, like if I went Shock and then on the stack I Shocked, that will create 2 of those, but do both effects resolve? Because the first one says sacrifice and create a number. And then the second one says sacrifice and then create, but the sacrifice doesn't happen, but I still assume that but because it's been sacrificed, it doesn't have power. Or I think you only get one resolution, right? Because once you've sacrificed it, its power is 0. Oh, already confirmed. You get both sets. It uses the last known value. So I could, for instance, kick this, and then, at the end of turn, target it a bunch of times, and get like 41 ones. We're going to make some bullshit with this card. Yeah, so apparently if you target it, like if I target it with like 4 shocks, sacrificing cause all the other targeting to fizzle. No. No, it just doesn't do that. Because when you target it, onto the stack, sacrifice it, and create a number of things goes on there. So if I target it with a second shock, boom, I now have a second thing on the stack. Neither of which is resolved. And then you target it, and then third one goes on the stack. The important thing is that you need a hold priority. Holy fuck. Yeah, because there's some subtle wording things here. If it's sacrifice it and then create a number of plus, 1/1, but it's just sacrifice it and create. So because it happens simultaneously. Jank. Relic Amulet 2. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery or wizard spell, put a charge counter on a Relic Amulet. Remove all charge counters from Relic Amulet. It deals that much damage to target creature. It's pretty tight. Seems like an acceptable one to live in a Is It Wizard. Yeah, seems pretty reasonable. Repeated zappings. Yeah, this is a very limited card. I'd give it like 4 out of 5. This seems like a good limited card, right? Seems like a good limited card. When Relic Axe enters the battlefield, attach target creature you control. Nice! Equipped creature gets +1/+1. If it's a warrior, it gets +2/+1. I'm telling you, I think Boros Warriors or Rakdos Warriors is going to be legit tight. I think it's going to be legit tight. This is not constructed card, I don't think. It's not legendary. I don't know, maybe another... maybe a Storm Fist Lance. I don't remember what the name of that was, but it was the deck that Ken Yukihiro was piloting a few Mythic Championships ago. I mean, that was pretty cool. Relic Golem can't attack or block unless an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Is this a Golem that goes in a rogue deck? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm not evaluating this garbage card. Relic Vial, sack a creature, draw a card. As long as you control a cleric, Relic Vial has whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. What? There's a lot of effects that are like whenever, lots of draining and all weird stuff, and I don't know. I'm out of energy. It doesn't matter to me. It's a big Colossus that costs less when you have a big party. So if I have 3 of them, this would cost 4 for a 7/5. That seems kind of fun. Woo! Skyclave Relic. Kicker 3 for 3, indestructible. And Skyclave Relic enters the battlefield. If it was kicked, create 2 tap tokens that are copies of Skyclave Relic. You can ramp into more ramp. Oh my gosh. Whenever it says add 1 mana of any color, I assume that means you cannot add colorless mana, because that is not of any color. Wow, if you play this, you can ramp into ramp into ramp. Huh. Might want to copy this effect. That's so weird. All this is so weird. Skyclave Sentinel, kicker 4, flying defender. Skyclave Sentinel was kicked. It enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. Okay, so you can kick for 7 to make a flying 4/5. That's too expensive for a flying 4/5. I don't like that card at all. Spare supplies, enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield, draw a card. Sack it to draw a card. Yeah, this is the jank glue of the set, right? Play it and it cycles itself. Sack it, draw another card. Done. It's great. Jank glue. Jank glue in action. Oh, God. Screw this card. 5 out of 5 constructed and 5 out of 5 limited. Love to see it. Stonework Pack Beast, 2 colorless. Stonework Pack Beast is everything. You can add mana of any color. Alright, so this is like your little activator guy. You just play one of these and the party continues to grow. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. We're blasting through the end of this. Utility Knife for 1. When it enters battlefield, attached to a target creature, and it gets +1/+1. Okay. Some Boros equipment deck with Nahiri is going to be a thing. Yeah. Base Camp. Oh, yeah. Enters the battlefield tapped. Add 1 mana to cast a Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, Wizard, or activate an ability of a Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, Wizard. It's the new Tournament Grounds, which was, you know, it was a thing. It was a thing. The problem is that this enters the battlefield tapped, which sucks. So this is a terrible land. You hate to see it. Oh, yeah. This is the juicy... This is where your rares are going to go. You're going to have a bunch of land in this set that you can play either as a white or as a green. So you get to pick. Grimclimb Pathway enters either as a black mana source or a white mana source. Enters as a blue mana source or a black. So there's a lot of these, you know, double flippy dippy guys. Ooh, what is this? Add void mana. You can put 2 +1/+1 counters on Crawling Barrens. Then you may have it become a 0/0 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Oh my god. So you can put some counters on it, swing, and then put more counters on it and swing. It's a 4/4, then put more counters on it and swing, and it's a 6/6. Oh, that's kind of fun. That's fun as hell. When it returns to being a land, by the way, it's a land with +1/+1 counters on it, and that's it. You don't even have to make it a creature? That's true. I generally would. Wow, maybe I run a 1 of these in my landfall deck. Nice. I'm interested in this puppy. Pillar Verge Pathway becomes a Needle Verge Pathway. Lava Glide Pathway becomes a River Glide Pathway. Throne of Makindi. Ooh, we can charge it up. Oh, interesting. I remember this one. Okay, it adds void mana, or you can spend 1 to charge it, and then you can remove a charge counter, add 2 mana of any one color, spend this mana only to cast kicked spells. This is cool, but I'm never going to run it ever. Plains. Island. I really like the land art here. Swamp. Mountain. Oh, shit. Forest. Jesus. Thanks, Ed. Thank you, Ed. Oh, my God. Big shout out to Ed, the editor. So, a couple things to note as I close all this out. I gotta go drink some water. I'm feeling a little lightheaded, as is the case in our smoky land of Los Angeles. Tomorrow we're going to be going live a wee bit earlier at noon Pacific, because I will be doing a Zendikar pre-release stream with our dear friend Nox starting at noon, and then our fresh new pal LSV at 2. We're going to be doing a 4-hour pre-release special talking about jank for the first 2 hours, talking about standard, and the good shit for the next 2. I'm I'm going to go because I am hungry and I'm sleepy. Thanks so much for joining me for this truth-bearing card review, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. Yeah.